The Empire of Maka has existed for nearly 1,000 years. Founded and ruled by Ava the Main, the immortal empress, it quickly expanded its borders thanks to the overwhelming power of its mages and the shrewd politics of its nobles. Now it has fully conquered the centre of the continent of Elmera, and although war has ended, peace still eludes its populace. As the Empire nears its first millennia, the signs of turmoil have become more frequent and apparent. Monsters are becoming more bold, nobles plot schemes of usurpation, and whispers of rebellion hang heavy in the slums. This gave rise to the adventurer. These strong individuals of all races and classes lend their might to the citizens of Maka to drive back monstrous incursions. There are even adventurers who perform deeds so noble that the people can see beyond their race to the hero that lies within. There are those who criticize these adventurers and claim they're nothing more than pawns used to advance the political machinations of nobles. Despite the immortal Empress herself making fewer and fewer appearances, there are those whose faith in the Empire remains unshaken, but the wise know that it only takes a few sparks to ignite the flames of change. Allow me to introduce you to these sparks. Welcome to Elmera.
Hello and welcome to Dice Age, a real play D&D podcast. I am Jack and I am your DM. Joined with me are our wonderful heroes. Would you all please introduce yourselves?
Hi, I am AJ and I'm playing Edgar Wood, the Blood Hunter half-elf.
Hi, I'm Alice Rose, and I play T, the Elven Sorceress.
Hello, I am Mitchell, and I play Essa, the human rogue.
Hi, I am Zach. I'm going to be playing Toros, the Tiefling Paladin.
Hello, I am Trey, and I am playing Oberon Perseus Maximus Germanius Cornelius Alexander Claudius II, your drow fighter.
Wonderful. Who here would be interested in letting us all remember the thing that happened the last time we did the thing?
Wait, we're playing tonight. I have one. I definitely have a recap. Just give me 1 second. Hello?
D&D Recap Hotline, how can we help you?
Yeah, I don't have a recap for tonight, and I could really use some help.
Of course! We offer 2 options, premium and poor peasant who can't afford shit option. Which would you like?
The poor peasant who can't afford shit option, please.
Excellent choice. With that, you get our handy D&D Libs.
The what?
D&D Libs. It's like Mad Libs, but D&D Recap oriented.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Great. Please provide the following. Name of your campaign.
Hey guys, I'm gonna put you on speaker real quick. Hey guys, I could use a little bit of help. For name of our campaign, Dice Age.
An adjective.
Pleasant.
Ooh.
Verb ending in S.
Y'all suck at improv. Just gonna say.
Screams.
Body part.
Leg.
Arm.
Let's go arm. Zach said that convincingly.
Verb ending with ed.
Guild.
Spell name.
Magic missile.
Adjective.
Super.
Name.
That's actually what I was going to go with.
Oberon type. I can't say the whole name.
Oberon Perseus Maximus Germanius Cornelius Alexander Claudius II.
Noun.
House.
Verb ending with ing.
Running.
Noun.
Shovel.
Lion. Line with a shovel.
Noun ending with S.
Hose.
Noun.
Oats.
Adjective.
Boats.
Adjective. Metallic.
Adjective.
Rubbery.
Verb ending with ed.
Cycled.
Bad noun.
Lion without shovel.
Adjective.
Ghastly.
Emotion.
Pain.
Pain isn't really an emotion.
Okay.
So let's go with sad.
Damn.
Okay, I just got something printed towards me. I guess I'll go ahead and read this. Last time on Dice Age, our heroes were planning their pleasant escape from the city of Cashel when T hears from Eileen Rockford, who screams the party by saying she was coming with them, and Harrison Wellman, who has the same arm as T. The party killed each other over what to do, but Oberon rushed back to get her after T cast the spell Magic Missile, making him get his daring rescue. He met with Eileen and the super Rosalind, who Essa learned is the rebellion contact actually named Oberon. They all successfully escaped the town unnoticed and went on their way, running as fast as a house, running with like a lion with a shovel. During their first rest, Essa shared his hose and his true relationship with Lord Richmond, and how he got his boat powers from the fallen wives of Richmond. Later on, T spoke to her parents, the metallic Eileen and the rubbery Harrison, and it was an incredibly sweet reunion. Eventually, the party arrived back in the capital city of Avon, where they all cycled with relief. T took her parents to Madame Chevre's, where the party met Cammy, the tiefling bouncer, while T met with the sickly Chevre, who was suffering from lying without shovel. After loving hugs and leaving T's parents, they went to Dragon Skull Inn, where they saw Mara and a group of ghastly goths, where the lizard folk of the group looked at Edgar with a look of sad.
Thank you for using the D&D recap hotline. We will bill you for 5 installments of 250 platinum. Happy adventuring.
Wait, does that mean 250 each install?
Click.
Jack, I think we owe them 1,250 platinum.
All right. Well,
Let's take them dollars.
don't worry. I'll just dock your pay. That'll be how we do
We're
that.
getting paid?
Question, you don't pay us.
In the theoretical world where I do pay you, I will dock it. So basically, it's an IO dock.
Okay.
Well,
Snake
with that,
all
all right. Well, with that settled, let's get back into it. So you all are back at the Dragon Skull Inn. You do see Mara, who sees you all and is waiting for you all to approach her. You also see a group of goth kids. AJ, do you want to describe these goth kids to your groups? Show them who they see.
Yeah, so you see a group of 3 people with very different demeanors from one another. The happiest of the 3, who once he locks eyes with Edgar seems to be really excited about it, is an elf, pretty tall guy, built pretty well, got some heavy armor on. Toros would recognize from classes that they had together. He's also a paladin. His name is Saul, and he doesn't seem to have the best understanding of what's going on around him. As he raises his hand, fills his drink over everything, but he's just really happy to be there. big, bushy red hair. Very goth, everything else. And then you have next to him with like the most stereotypical goth demeanor you can imagine, a human woman named Zuzaria. Her hair is like a bowl cut, but all different kinds of colors dyed into it, and she is slumped in her chair. Anytime anyone makes eye contact with her, she like tries to make them flinch or does something, says an off the cuff comment just to creep them out. And then the one who has been staring the most intently at Edgar is the lizard folk of the group. They've got a button down shirt on. The tip of their tail has been body modded to now be basically a dagger. It's just a metallic point at the end. And similar to Edgar, their right eye can't be used because there's a massive cut over it that if you look closer to it reminds you a lot of Edgar's cut across his chest that he uses for his blood rights.
Yeah. So you see your group of friends that you made from the academy. And
Oberon knows these guys very well.
Yeah.
He knows this was Edgar's crew.
Yeah. Oberon, you clock them as well. So Edgar, you see them. Saul like goes to like wave at you with a very big grin on his face, and Zuzu kind of like just like elbows him in the gut, and he kind of like doubles over a little bit with the unexpected blow to the stomach, as Kanasha still has just been staring daggers at you.
Edgar just like fully, like he's still staring back at them, but hasn't moved for like 5 seconds. He's hoping for something to happen that he doesn't have to make the first move. Sees that nothing happens.
Nope, nothing happens. The only thing that happens is that the awkward silence of after you guys walked in and Edgar froze in place just kind of gets longer and longer.
Do we see Mara?
Yes, Mara is over in the other side of the room.
I'm going to walk around Edgar, breaking his line of sight with them, and then as I do, kind of just give him it's not very gentle, but kind of like a like pat on the back that feels almost more like a slap, just and nod my head in that direction.
Link my arm in his and kind of drag him over towards Lady Ward.
Oh, Edgar. She
doesn't know any better.
So T links her arm around Edgar's arm as she drags Edgar away from the goth kids over to Mara.
Mm-hmm.
Edgar, you aren't making eye contact with Kanasha anymore, but you feel the eye contact coming from them, as like you feel like red hot embers boring into the back of your head.
You hear under Edgar's breath, "Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die."
All right.
And she doesn't clock that it's because of them. She's like, "Oh, he's nervous about this meeting." Normally so socially aware.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame.
She's had a bit of a shakeup lately.
Listen, she just walked in on Lady Chevra with Lion without shovel. She's a little shaken.
Lion without shovel.
That's
you
so
can't
true.
just you're a broken man after that.
Like the lion without his shovel.
You're as broken as that lion.
That's absolutely becoming like an idiom in this world.
Like
now.
a lion without a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. The lion went to Madame Chevra's to seek comfort because his mother had
Lost his shovel. Oh my god.
Oh, you guys are so dumb. Never change.
Okay, so you all approach Mara, and she looks at you all and says, I take it you are back from the mission then.
Quite a successful return, if I do say.
She smiles. She's like, "That's very good to hear. Well, I will be happy to go ahead," and she pays you the rest of what is owed to you for the mission, and then she says, actually, sorry. She says, "I will be happy to pay you what is owed after I take you to deliver a briefing to Lady Ward."
Of course.
All right.
We would love to meet her.
Sounds good. She will then stand up and start walking to leave the building, assuming you all are going to follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys go on ahead? I'll catch up. Yeah, I'll catch up.
Mara says, "Catch up? You don't know where we're going."
I'll find it. I'll figure it out.
Okay. She like quickly gives you some like directions. She's like,
Edgar's out of it.
Okay.
He has no ways.
Yeah, she can tell that something's up, but she's like, all right, in case he does decide to tag along eventually, like maybe he can catch us before we get there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If nothing else, like she's gonna like let the guards know if this guy shows up, let him in. Okay, so she starts leading you all through the city, leading you and through the winding streets up to the nobles' quarter, nobles district. Find a pretty, not shabby looking, but not like the most luxurious manor in the district. Where a set of guards are patrolling outside. They recognize Mara, let you all in, and as you all are crossing that threshold, we're going to skip back to the Dragon Skull Inn. So, Edgar, your group is going ahead without you, and you kind of try to casually look back over to the goth kids as I'm not, let me see if they're still, and without even barely a second of looking, you see that Kanasha is still like the time that it has taken for you to look back at them from the last time you made eye contact with them has only seemingly intensified their anger.
Yeah, Edgar takes a good 30 seconds of just trying to get whatever strength he can, and then he's gonna go walk over to them.
Okay, so you walk over and Saul again is about to say, "Hey Ed," and then as the wind is knocked out of him by Zuzu's elbow once again.
Glad to see nothing's changed here.
Well, I guess one thing has changed, Kanasha says, still staring daggers. It's really interesting because I visited your mom after our graduation exam, and she told me that you were done and you were back and you were actually about to work a mission. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Can't wait for him to tell me about it. So now it's been almost a month since we talked, That's interesting, isn't it?
I'm sorry. And Edgar says that first makes eye contact real quick with Kin, but can't keep it and just makes it a apology to everyone, making more eye contact with Saul and Zeus is I'm sorry, things have been really crazy. I had a couple letters that I was trying to write to you all. I'm sorry, okay?
You see that they're trying to stay angry, but there is your apology does kind of soften their features. And they're like, well, I guess it makes sense that things would be a little hectic, especially since you are having to work with Oberon. So I guess things aren't exactly going the way you want it to. So I guess I will accept your apology for now.
Yeah, it's been kind of a trip. He's same as ever, conflicted as fuck. But he watched my back, so I guess some kind of progress. How was your mission? What have you been doing since you graduated?
They kind of lean back in their chair. They like kind of kick the chair next to them to like push it away from the table so you can sit down.
I take a seat.
And they say, well, our mission was all right. We had some kobolds that were stealing chickens in a local village. You know how they are. We actually were able to work out a deal between the farmers and the kobolds so that, we didn't end up having to slaughter them all. So that was nice,
Edgar just like is thinking about the goblins at this point. That moment, just like that's awesome. I wouldn't expect any less from you three. That's good. So you guys have been enjoying it. Things have been going pretty well.
I was able to save some of the blood from my sacrifices, Zuzu says.
Tight.
And Saul just kind of like beams and says, it was a lot of blood. It was so much blood.
Oh my god.
It was a whole keg, honestly. I had to carry it all the way back to the city. It was a good upper body workout, honestly.
Did you guys scare anyone to peeing themselves? We got that.
Oh, no, yeah, like that. I mean, a lot of people outside of the city don't get, and they kind of like gesture to their aesthetic generally and say like, so, we had a few people who assumed we were there to make things worse when they first saw us, but, it smoothed over eventually.
Right.
How was your graduation mission?
We got our licenses. The group's interesting.
Just roll a quick insight check here.
I will gladly do.
I'll say you could just do a persuasion to like kind of like give off the vibe of I don't really feel like talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Instead of like being a deception necessarily.
Mm.
Well,
that's a natural one.
Okay. So
oh boy.
I'm still gonna roll an insight check just so that we can see it. I'm guaranteeing you that they're gonna succeed, though.
Put meeteth thy mouth.
Well, they rolled an 8, but that still beats a nat 1.
You rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So, you say that, and all three of them, even Saul, kind of like picks up on, oh, things went kind of really bad. Like you can see it in their faces that they recognize something bad went down. And like at this point, any residual anger on Kin's face is like replaced with like concern. And they're like, what? I mean, you don't have to talk about it here, but what happened?
Edgar sees that face on Kin, the one that he has seen whenever shit has gone bad, and they were the person for him, for Saul and Zuzu, to make everything feel like you're not alone in it. And he just has all of the memories of them being the only ones who he could like truly count on throughout the academy. And then he remembers all the good times at Zuzu's place where her embarrassing parents were too jolly for Zuzu, being the edgelord that she is. And as he's just thinking about all the really good memories there, he thinks about the hunter saying what they said about killing a lizard folk like they were prey. He thinks about all of the shit that he has just put himself into with Chloe Ward, with killing Seamus. And it's slowly dawning on Edgar that if anything comes out about him, these are the first people that anyone would try to search for and get answers out of. And the lizard folk is probably the first one they wouldn't care about hurting to get what they need. And as they all like gang up and trying to like care for Edgar, he just like gets defensive and pushes back and is like, listen, it's none of your business, okay? I've got a lot to do, and I might be gone for a long time again, and I can't keep talking to you all. You're just going to get in the way.
Shock on all three people's faces, and especially hurt on the face of Kanasha. And they look confused, they look sad, they look hurt, they look angry, and they say, I haven't seen you in almost a month. I didn't know if you were alive or not. I didn't even get a letter from you that things were that you and they like slam their fist down on the table, and like you see like the scar over their eye that they use for their blood right is like starting to like crackle with energy, and they say, you need to leave.
Edgar, at that moment, instinctually reaches into his pocket and just clutches the last draft of the letter that he was working on for Kin. And he just like crumples it as he like goes internal for a second and just like tries to reach the Sylvan side of himself. It's like, all right, I need you for just 1 second here for a little bit of a show. Because he's with Kin making that little slam, I'm imagining it's gotten some attention.
Yeah,
around.
like some of the other conversations around have like stopped and like eyes are moving over to that table.
Edgar's going to use that, and he's going to get up and make sure it gets as much attention as he can. He's just going to say, then it sounds like we're done. Don't ever talk to me again. And he's going to, shaking arms, push the table away from himself and run out.
And
he's going to go, yeah.
Give me a perception check as you run out of the inn.
13.
13 is not enough to see, for Edgar to see how devastatingly heartbroken the faces of his former friends are.
I am glad I failed. Edgar's going to run out and go towards the alley that he knows is close by from when they were searching for the tiefling. He's just going to take a hot minute and just break down right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine this Asaurian self that's still new provides just a little bit of like his mom's comfort, just provides a little bit of that warmth that he hasn't had as he just sits there before shaking it off and going to where he knows his crew is.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Fun times. So
Oh boy.
Can I
He
go back
gets
to
trauma
doing?
while we're assholes in chat.
Can I go back to doing recaps now? Sure.
Keep running, running.
Did you appreciate my little commentary there, AJ?
Yes.
Cool. Anyways,
What, Lady Wards?
so at Lady Ward's, I'll say that was a pretty quick interaction. I'll say, like, even with the time for you recovering, it won't take more than like 10-15 minutes at most before you arrive at the mansion. You all who already got there, Mara escorted you into one of the sitting rooms of the mansion. Brought out some tea and cakes while she went into Ward's study to let her know that you were there. Say by the time it's a few minutes go by, and eventually Edgar catches up with the rest of you. And Edgar, give me a deception check real quick.
Can I roll insight?
Oh,
see
yeah.
How he is?
I'm inciting that shit.
I was about to say,
I'm not going to be very good at it, but I'm going to try.
Damn.
Damn it.
I have to keep an eye on
Do you
it.
want to give Oberon advantage on the ins? I know.
With that nat 20. So
anybody would
Okay.
anybody would know.
if anybody, I mean, to be fair, if anyone would pass this contest, it would make sense for it to be Oberon. So the rest of you see Edgar come in, and he, you can tell it wasn't like a fun conversation, but none of you get the insight that Oberon gets, where Oberon, you see he's definitely been crying. He's definitely had to push these friends of his away, and you instantly recognize how devastating that must have been for him, knowing that these were the closest friends he had at the academy, and some of the only people who he could truly say understood him.
Oberon just gives like a very deep sigh and he puts it away. He's not going to bring it up right now. But
A few more minutes go by, and eventually Mara comes back into the room, says to you all, all right, sorry for the wait. Lady Ward had some work she had to wrap up, but she's ready to see you now. And she escorts you into the study. Very serene room, lots of plants, like lighting that's bright enough that you can see what you're doing if you were working and reading, but low enough that it doesn't feel intense or overwhelming. And standing behind a desk, a large, ornate-looking desk, you see a kind of short, 5'8", sorry, I realized short for an elf.
Is not short.
Short
first of
for
all.
an
I am
elf.
a 5'4" queen.
pretty fucking short, Alice. Right?
I am
AJ?
5'4" and proud.
Short for an elf.
This is a podcast. I'm 6'6".
6
It's a
foot
fucking lie and you know it.
Yeah, Zach's fucking 6'2".
Listeners, comment in the comments what you think everyone's
how tall
height
do you
is.
think we are?
Give an order of who you think is tallest to shortest.
Tier ranking, but with height.
I will let you know right now. AJ is at the bottom of that list.
Ruin the fun. Damn.
Just lying to.
Just lying, yes.
There we go.
Short for an elf.
There we go.
Dark elf with deep purple skin, silvery white hair, purple eyes, very kind of larger size woman, and she smiles at you all as you come in. And let me pull up.
Ooh.
Love her.
Yeah.
And she says, "Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to hear that things went well in Cashel." She's going to gesture towards some nice-looking chairs seated around her desk as she takes a seat behind it.
Y'all take a seat.
Yeah. All right. You all take a seat, and then she looks at you all and says, "All right. Well, I'd love to hear the details of what happened."
We're given the starting clue that there was something mysterious around the daughter of Lord Rockford.
Mm-hmm.
And now we know everything.
Big smile on her face. She says, "That's the kind of thing I love to hear. Please."
We even have proof. About 20 years ago, Lady Eileen Rockford took kindly to a half-elf gentleman. And when he found out about their relationship, he was not a fan. Locked the gentleman in a fort for ritual torture several times a week.
Interesting.
Horribly malnourished and tortured this man for 2 decades. All for the crime of falling in love with his daughter. And we have that man.
She leans back in her chair and she says, "Very interesting. Yes, I'm very sorry to hear about that. That's must have been harrowing to see him when you did discover him. Assuming, of course, you did. When you say you have proof, I'm assuming that you recovered
Yes,
this man."
we brought him back to Avon, yes.
Wonderful. Now, she is going to make an insight check.
Can I make a deception check?
You can. You can certainly try.
Ooh.
Dirty 20.
I
That's
love
or
that
better,
Roll20
better.
keeps logging me out. That's so much fun.
That's my
That
favorite.
sounds like a lot of
my
fun.
favorite.
I think that means she fails. I think
Yeah.
Alice will.
Yeah, I think that
Auto
means she
fail.
fails.
Auto
Not one.
fail.
Not one.
Yeah.
She rolled
what was your
0.
deception check?
20.
20?
20.
Not nat.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay. That's interesting.
She has like a plus
I'm scared.
20% to insight.
Don't worry.
I
Took up
I have a plus
43.
7 to deception.
Zone of truth.
She thinks about what you say, and then she looks at you and says, "I understand that we didn't come into this working relationship on the best of terms. And so I don't, I'm not going to hold it against anyone here if you don't fully trust me. That makes complete sense. However, I will let you know that in order for me to feel that I have adequately compensated you for the services you've provided, I will need to know the full details of what happened.
All right. Perceptive of you, my lady. Her ladyship, Eileen Rockford, broke out of her father's home a week and a half ago, on the day we were leaving to join us. They are both being held in a secure location somewhere at Naven.
Interesting. Were you the ones who assisted in her escape?
No, we were not.
Who did? I doubt that this woman who has been, as far as I understand it, unable to leave her home for 2 decades now was able to simply walk out the door.
Boris looks like he's gonna puke right now.
I'm gonna.
She snuck out in the early morning, and she sent me a message that she was leaving. So we had Oberon go in, intercept her for safe travel.
The maids of the manor assisted her in escape.
Mm-hmm. When you say that, that's when she's like, oh, okay. The maids of the manor. They must have been very fond of her then to risk the ire of of the Lord Rockford then.
As far as I'm aware, they've been with her since
Since her capture.
Yes.
I'm going to need a deception check from Oberon.
It's not a deception.
It's not a deception.
Maid.
It's not a
It's
deception.
a lie by omission.
It's a lie of omission.
You're omitting.
Ah, damn it. Boop.
That one? Oh, damn it.
Fucking.
So a 14 deception check.
Does she need a fresh insight check?
I gave her a fresh insight check.
Titties.
She rolled a 24.
Titties!
That's not that much better.
Oh,
Not that much.
And so
Bitch.
she succeeds by 10 over. And she is going to smile and say, Young Master Claudius, I mean no offense when I say this, and I truly understand that from what Mara has told me, you especially have had misgivings about working with me out of all of the others here. So I do, again, understand that I am not someone who has earned all of your trust. Keeping things from me will not make this process easier.
Room turns to
Oberon. Oberon kind of shifts up in his chair, doesn't get out, but definitely, and it's not a nervous shift. It's kind of like just to sit up straighter, because he had kind of been like just hunched over thinking, and he's just going to sit up, and he's just going to lean in a little bit. Is that a threat?
My dear, if I was threatening you, you would know it.
Okay. I'm gonna just take a quick minute with these guys over here. Just a reminder, she knows everything about us. Everything that could get us fucked over. The only reason why we aren't fucked over right now is because
So
of this.
you're doing this as like kind of a side huddle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sidebar, real
I
quick.
get it. Not a good situation. But we can be royally fucked over if she does not like us. Your name is gone, Oberon. If this goes bad.
So is hers.
Yeah, but I think she knows how to handle this better than we do. She's probably covered her tracks a lot better than we did. I get it, but we're kind of fucked right now. If I'm wrong, tell me. But that's the vibe I'm getting right now.
He's right.
I'm dead if this gets out.
Same.
Oberon?
Oberon's just looking at Edgar right now.
Back to Lady Ward. And I will say,
I appreciate your patience with us in this deliberation. We had found out that the specific maid who assisted her ladyship in escaping her father's house happened to be a member of the rebellion.
At that, Lady Ward is she doesn't like show any emotion on her face, but like her eyes widen a bit, she sits up a little straighter, and you can see gears turning in her head. And she just says, "Now that is interesting indeed. How familiar are you all with the rebellion?"
Not very.
We all just pan to Essa.
I personally am not very familiar.
That's true. That's the truth.
I've largely stayed out of that whole mess most of my life.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Did you say Habel? I've never heard of it. He doesn't say that. He doesn't.
She says, she smiles and says, "Well, that makes sense. They're not very well established in the city. I mean, they have their little spies, but they're not really able to do much right now, are they?" And she says, "No, I've been keeping track with them. An interesting group. Not necessarily a bunch of bad ideas from them." And then she'll say, "So I imagine Lady Rockford is now feeling very grateful to this maid of hers who is a member of the rebellion."
Yep.
Would certainly seem to be the case.
Right. Well, that's going to be something I'll have to keep an eye on.
I am not aware if Lady Rockford herself knows of her maid's affiliation.
I see. Well, that is good information to hold on to then. Thank you. Now, I don't mean to be someone who seems ungrateful. But I will say,
However.
a noble imprisoning and torturing a half-elf for 20 years is certainly something that would cause a great scandal, cause people to question his ability to be considered as gracious and noble as one should be with the position that he has. However, it's not something that will ruin him. As she says ruin, like there is like a sort of like glint in her eyes of like a predator looking for the weak spot on an animal that they're stalking. And she will say, "Were you
deception check.
Sorry?
I'm gonna make a deception check already.
Okay.
Just to hide my full body reaction when she says ruin.
Mm-hmm.
Titties. It's a 12.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Lady Ward and go,
She just keeps rolling 24s.
"It's amazing." I'm gonna look
That's
at
only
the,
double.
Fuck.
Lady Ward and just go, "I would not having the testimony of the Lord's own daughter, who he locked away into it in his manor for 20 years without really any outside interaction. Would that not be enough to ruin one? We have her testimony. We have her."
Right, no, we do have her testimony, which certainly will lend credibility if we ever decided to go public with any accusations. But again, the victim in this case was a half-elf. And no offense to present company, she says, gesturing to Edgar, but I think you of all people are especially aware of the ways in which our system does not recognize crimes committed against people like you.
Edgar just nods.
It's an unfortunate reality, one I plan to correct, but it's not one that I can use to force Rockford to acquiesce to demands of mine.
Whenever she says it's a reality I want to change, can I insight her?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Oh, fucking. I don't know what I just did. Oh,
I
God.
can try.
18.
I'm in a state right
head
now.
isn't in. Yeah, Taurus's head isn't really in the game right now.
I'm having thoughts and
That's
feelings.
Nate. Yeah, no, he's got some stuff running through his mind right now that aren't good.
So the highest insight checks we've gotten are 18s, and that's from Essa and Edgar, which incidentally are two people who would be most interested if she is telling the truth. Well, Toros would be as well, but Toros rolled an 8 because
Thoughts and feelings.
Trauma.
He's got a lot.
Toros just wants to go home.
Welcome to
Can we
Dice
get-
Age, the show about Toros trying to go home.
trying to get home.
Can we get Toros a juice box? I think he needs a juice box.
I think he needs a juice box.
There was like some fresh pressed apple juice in the room with the tea and cakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm Team Chloe Ward now. I think I'm in.
She had juice.
She had juice. Anyway, back to the.
So you all try to get a read on her saying that. There is like part of it that does, undeniably, there is a part of it that does feel a little pat. Just like this is something that is part of a pitch that she's given several times. But that's the vibe that gives off is more just like that she's said this a lot. And like it's part of a speech that she's given several times. It's not
necessarily
not
that it's
disingenuous. The people who got lower rolls, below 10s, it's like you have no reason to suspect she's lying, other than any innate distrust you have for the nobility. 12, unfortunately, Oberon doesn't get you much more insight beyond that. 18s, she seems genuine. You do not detect any deception from her. There's nothing in what she says that makes you feel like she is withholding information or omitting things or, recontextualizing words to try to appeal to you all. This sounds like a genuine belief and goal of Lady Ward. But she goes on to say that if there is... Now, certainly this would cause a great scandal. It's certainly something that I could use against him. But if there is anything else that would be of significant use for my purposes, that is something I would be incredibly interested in.
Your ladyship. Under, how specific would you like this information to be?
I would like to know exactly all the details.
All right. A follow-up to that question. Should this information need to be utilized for important purposes, as we are keeping this in the back pocket for, shall we say, how specific would you be with the public?
Oh, with the public? Oh, no. You misunderstand. I want this information so that I can I
use
won't
it.
give all of the information to Lord Rockford. I won't be as specific. I'll cultivate, or not cultivate. What's the word I'm thinking of? I'll curate the exact level of divulgence that I'll be giving, depending on how much I can reasonably leave to implication. But for my purposes, I need to know what all the information is, so I know what I can and cannot withhold.
Lady Ward, I personally, like looking at the rest of my party, like I'm not speaking for us, I'm speaking for me.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have made the decision to trust you with sensitive information.
Is this deception?
No, this is
Okay.
completely sincere. Lady Ward, there is another detail. He didn't just find out that they were in a relationship. He found out that she was pregnant, and they were going to run away together. My name is Tiana Polukrovka. I am the granddaughter of Lord Rockford. 3/4 Elven.
I think you mean 2/3.
No, we're not Gilgameshing this.
End my life.
Anyway.
This is a woman who has spent the 80 years of her life cultivating, training, and becoming an excellent member, excellent participant in courtly affairs, diplomacy, and, you know, of course, one of the most important things of diplomacy and negotiation is being able to know and be able to control and withhold reactions. That's a bombshell. So she, even with as adept as she is, her jaw kind of goes slack a bit. And just for a moment.
When she says that, she like holds her hand out to shake, like introducing herself.
Her jaw goes slack a bit. She regains composure. It's like barely a second of time that she lets that slip through the mask. But she smiles even wider than she already has been, takes your hand, shakes it firmly, and says, "Well, it is quite the pleasure to meet you, Tiana. That is exactly the kind of information I was hoping to glean."
Just that, as you use this for your purposes, you would keep specific identity clandestine.
Oh, of course, of course. Like you can already see gears turning in her head again.
Yeah.
And she says, "Now, yes, I will guarantee you that none of this information of your identity and your heritage will be made public. I will guarantee you that as of now, I am guaranteeing you that Harrison and Eileen Rockford will be under my protection. I will have a guest suite in my home set for them. I will ensure that guards are keeping watch over them. And I also guarantee you that I will, of course, be letting your grandfather know of your existence, but I will not divulge your identity to him."
My appreciation is unending, your ladyship.
Wonderful. And then she's going to... Mara's in the room too, by the way. And Mara, like, she's been kind of in the corner this whole time. Like, her face is just completely, like, dumbstruck. Like, she still hasn't recovered from the bombshell yet. But Lady Ward is going to say, "Mara, dear." And Mara's like, "Yes, Lady Ward." She's going to say, "I believe that our adventurers here have earned more have provided more of a service to us than we initially expected of them. Ensure that in addition to the fee we already promised them, that they each gain an additional 60 gold pieces.
Rather kind of you. Thank you.
She smiles and says, "Of course, and while I understand that you were speaking for yourself, I do hope that I have perhaps earned a little bit of trust from the rest of your group. And if at any time in the future you are looking for more work, I will very happily find a job that I can pair you with."
We'd appreciate that greatly.
Mm-hmm. She smiles and says, "And with that, I do believe that, unless there's any more information."
I believe that's it.
Lady Ward, may I speak with you one-on-one for a moment?
Sure,
after
dear.
this
Just
is
a moment,
concluded?
though. And she says, "But I do want to say before we have our private conversation, which I will be happy to do. I do want to officially state now that all arrangements, debts, information that I may have about involvements of your group is effectively gone. I do not know. I do not know exactly the details of what transpired during your graduation, though I am very happy to say that I believe you all are a very promising group of adventurers, and I will be happy to see how your careers develop going forward."
Enchanted to meet you, your ladyship. And she'll start like ushering the rest.
Yeah,
out.
she'll say, and to meet you as well, my dear. All right. You all had kind of file out, except. Oh, sorry. Was Edgar going to say something?
Edgar would want to just really quickly talk to Mara.
Yeah.
Too.
So I'll say that Mara leaves with the rest of you. She doesn't expect Essa to try anything. Because,
how much is our second half of pay? Because I have our party loot from the first half, but we spent some.
We spent some, but we still have like a decent.
We still have most of it, but just so I can keep track of party loot.
How much do you have, Alice?
Our current party loot, party gold, is 49 gold and 7 silver.
Okay. I think we were given like 60 gold.
We were given 75 to start. The reward was 50 gold each. Yeah.
And then an extra 60 each, so we each privately have 110 gold right now.
Oh, Oberon got it to a total of 300 after persuading. We got 75 up front, so we're owed 225, but then we're getting that additional.
So we're owed 225.
Owed 225 for the original payment.
Yes.
And now
we
with
get an
60
additional
for each.
300.
So yeah, you're now being paid a total of 525. That's what Mara is like collecting the money.
And how much?
I'll keep the 225 in party loot. Everybody else take 60 gold to your personals.
Cool.
Sorry, were you saying something, Trey?
Sorry.
I was saying, Alice, how much did we have before this? Again,
49 gold and 7 silver.
Okay, so plus 49.
274.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to 5 plus 49, and then that's divided. So if we ever do want to just divide up fully equally, it would be about 115 gold a person.
Okay.
I like party loot.
But I was just
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so we know.
Yeah, having that 60 gold bonus that everyone keeps to themselves is definitely, it's not going to hurt having 60 gold of pocket change.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you all leave. Mara's like working on collecting the gold to pay you all. Edgar or Essa, you're sticking behind to speak with Lady Ward, and Lady Ward, like after waiting a moment for everyone to leave, Lady Ward will turn to you and say, "How may I help you, dear?"
Well, I assume that soon I will be in your debt again because I need your help.
Yes. It's fun when you drop things on your desk.
Very fun.
What? How can I be of assistance?
If you know as much about it as you do, then you should know that my enrollment into the academy was not of my own volition. I was forced to, after being caught stealing from Lord Richmond, and as a result, he has employed me, we should put it, as his personal spy and assassin, and he has chosen me to spy on Tiana. He seeks to marry her.
I see. Have you shared this information with your group?
Yes, they all know.
Okay. That's good to know. However, I'm still waiting to hear what assistance you would like from me.
And I need to find a way to break this deal, to get away from Lord Richmond.
I see. That will be difficult. I won't lie to you. Richmond has a lot of influence. You don't get to murder 5 elves and get away with it without having strings to pull.
Mm.
I will be happy to assist you in the ways that I can. I will need to consider my information that I've already gathered and see about potentially coming up with a plan of action that I can use to assist you. That may take some time to do that. And I will say that while I do enjoy your group, this is a big ask.
I know.
Richmond is on my short list of those to correct, so to speak. However, I was not planning on being able to challenge him for some time at least. If you would like me to help you and move up that time frame, I will, but I will need some things from you as well.
What do you need?
I need you to become a double agent.
Happily.
Wonderful. I will need information about Richmond's whereabouts, not necessarily an active time, but I will need to know if you are aware of any hideouts that he has. I'll need to know about, like, she gives you like a rundown of like things she would like you to get, information she would like you to get about Lord Richmond. Like, I can send you that later on.
Yeah.
But
can I tell her, because I know of like the location that we met when I first got back from the graduation mission. Can I tell her about that?
Yeah, that was
it was kind of just like a
it wasn't too far from where he lived though. So it's like, yeah, you can tell her about that. It's not necessarily, she means more like hideouts or like safe houses or like if he has any affiliations with any specific adventuring parties or like any like mercenary guilds, things like that. But yeah, she says, the more information you give me about him, the more I can assist you. I utterly despise that horribly evil and vicious man, and there will be no love lost if we are able to end his pathetic and terrible life.
Seems our goals are one and the same in that aspect.
Absolutely. If you would like to be involved in any operations that would become more final in the fate of Lord Richmond, do let me know. I will be sure to include you on the roster.
Absolutely.
All right. Unless you have anything else you wanted to bring up, I think that will be where that conversation ends. While that conversation is going on, we're back outside of the room with Mara and Edgar.
Hey, Mara, first just want to say, I don't think any of us had a chance to, but thank you for helping with the goblin situation back then.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. I wasn't going to let you have to deal with that in the way it could have gone.
Hey, I have two things I wanted to ask you real quick. You saw what I am in that moment, and I don't know how to learn more about it without getting in trouble, without risking people finding out. Or
I do just want to make sure before this conversation keeps going. Is this?
Sorry.
No. I know that. I meant more.
Just us. I wanted to be just
I didn't know
us.
if you wanted the party to be able to hear this conversation.
I assume this was just
Okay. Yeah. I figured not, but I just wanted.
Toros are like sitting in the corner, like kind of holding hands for like comfort.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I figured it was a private conversation. I just wanted to double check real quick. But go ahead.
Yeah. I never was in one of your classes, but you seem to know a lot about just everybody, like the people. Like, and if there's anything you know or anything that I could ask just to find out more about who I am, I don't want to risk talking to my mom more right now.
Yeah. No, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I will be happy to do that. I'm usually around here, or at the academy. Anytime that you want to talk, I'm available. And I do want to let you know this. This isn't a judgment on Lady Ward. I refrained from telling her about your nature.
That just like the biggest like shoulders drop sigh of relief coming out of Edgar in that moment.
She says to you, Lady Ward is not someone who harbors the same resentments as other nobles, other elves, but not everyone is as she wouldn't. It wouldn't make her hate you or anything like that. I fully believe that, but that's a very deeply personal thing, and I wouldn't want to. It feels like I would be overstepping my bounds, even though that I owe so much to Lady Ward. That's something that you should be able to decide who knows and who doesn't.
That means a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have told you earlier.
I just heard. I remember the other druid kids would say you were really fucking nice. I didn't expect you to actually be that fucking okay.
Well, thank you. And she doesn't go for a hug, but she kind of puts her arms out in like a if you want one, it's here kind of way.
Wisdom save.
Before that, I need my second question's a much bigger ask.
Oh yeah, no, I can keep this on hold.
I hate.
She just stays in that position.
Just locks into place.
I hate to ask this, but you're the only person that I can. If at some point we fuck up and someone finds out what I am, I can't be the reason things happen to my mom. If you find out that they know, I hate to ask, but could you make sure she's okay? Could you?
You do not need to feel bad about asking that. I will be more than happy to keep your mother safe if the worst should happen.
He just small kid goes in for the hug.
Yeah, no, she gives you a nice, warm, comforting hug back. Like
You might even say it's a motherly hug.
Very motherly hug. Motherfucking Roll20 keeps signing me out. Why do you do that?
But again, if you sponsor us, we love you.
Yes, if you...
Every time we complain about any sort of tech that we use, if we get a sponsorship, we have to go back in and edit over is a lovely platform that is my favorite thing to use for Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, it's...
Just poorly edited.
Insert soundbite here. Hold up, I gotta... Why?
Roll20, we use it.
That is as accurate a
tagline
statement as we can say. I have a professor for one of my sociology classes who's a D&D guy. He says he fucking hates Roll20.
Did you tell him that you're doing a D&D podcast?
Yes.
Oh.
He said, that's lame. You're a stupid little idiot. I'm
failing
you because you're a stupid little baby.
That's probably exactly
Did you
what he
piss
said.
yourself? Did you piss yourself in shit, you little stupid bitch?
Dumb little baby. What do you want?
Sometimes I forget how much I hate you.
Oh, man. Ooh.
But yeah, no, so she's a furball. She's got some furriness to her. And it's nice. It's warm, it's comforting. And then she kind of looks at you and as the hug kind of has its moment, and she says, yeah, you're a good kid. Castor was right.
Edgar just has a moment when she says that. Castor. And so I gotta go. I'm sorry, I'm holding the group up.
I'll say this is when Essa comes out of his little one-on-one convo.
I'll be back, hopefully.
All right. Yeah. Well, if and she'll look at you all and say you all are don't need to stay on my account. She does look to T though and says, I'll be happy to work with you to help move Eileen and Harrison in here. At whatever pace works best for you. I know you might want to spend some time with them, so no need to rush on that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We do want to make sure that they're secured fairly soon, but I'll take my time.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't worry. Even if Rockford's, I imagine he was sent out some sort of search party. Even if they do get to Avon, there's not much they can really do in the city as a search party.
True.
So, but yeah, hey, that's awesome that you got to find your parents. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And she'll look at you all and say, well, if you ever need work again, you can come find me and I can let Lady Ward know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You've been incredibly generous to us.
I hate myself. Edgar does accidentally say thanks, Mom.
Listen,
Fuck, no.
that's absolutely not the first time one of Mara's, like a student at the academy, has accidentally called Mara Mom.
She's such a mom.
She does not call it out. She does not tease you about it. She just kind of smiles and like doesn't address it because she knows that any form of addressing it will just embarrass you.
Ooh, I'm gonna go tell your real mom.
Oh, she's gonna be so jealous.
Look. Mara's into ladies, so
Edgar might try to set them up. T, I need your help.
I got a parent trap.
Listen, she can be my mom, but my mom's mommy.
No, end my life.
All right. Well, I'll say that at this point, I think this kind of is the conclusion of this mission. Sorry. Yes. Oberon.
Oh, I thought you were going. Just before we get into aim. Sorry. Go ahead. I thought it was something else.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to say, like, at this point, we are going to transition into some downtime. Like, you know, you guys are adventurers. You're basically freelance workers. You don't have to be constantly in work mode. And technically, like, you guys aren't an official group yet. You haven't like registered as an adventuring party.
It's kind of cool to keep people together.
Which you don't have to. There's no requirement to register as a party. There's lots of people who regularly work with other adventurers, like the same adventurers that never actually do that. There are some benefits that come with it, like you could get a headquarters together, and if you're pooling your resources, it's easier to afford one.
So you'd say we're doing it for tax reasons?
Yeah.
We're going legal for tax reasons?
Yes.
Listen, it's all about equity.
Yeah.
Let's get that dental, baby.
What I was just going to say is before, like, if we're doing like a time skipper, Oberon does want to, like, as we're leaving Lady Wars and we start to like split off in separate directions, Oberon does want to just like just kind of like say to Edgar, listen, I know that couldn't have been easy. I'm sorry.
Shit ton of emotions are going through Edgar. There's a point where Edgar's gonna, like, you're gonna see Edgar's gonna snap back and look at you. Like, what's the look he sees on Oberon's face?
It's not pity. Yeah, it's not pity. It's a look of uncertainty as Oberon like looks like he has his hand out, like he was going to try and like put it on Edgar's shoulder, but kind of like froze midway. Kind of like a nervous look on his face, but at the same time trying to just be empathetic, be compassionate.
Edgar sees that and he just calms a little bit.
Yeah, it's just it looks like it's not a good look, but it looks like that's the look he's trying to.
Mm-hmm. It's a muscle he's not used to flexing.
Yeah.
Things should have been a lot different. for all of us. And yeah, a part of me wishes we weren't stuck in this shit. But we got T back with her parents. We've helped some people. I don't trust anybody that we've worked for. But I don't mind who I've worked with.
I can say the same. I don't think that what and like we've made sure that this was like a secluded area that we were like an alleyway or something. I don't agree with Lady Ward on any. But she helped us, and I'll honor and respect them. And I will honor and respect the people that I've worked with.
I don't know if we're all sticking together, but I'm letting you know. I hope your dad doesn't have a problem with this, but I'm gonna try. If T, Toros, and Essa want to, I'm gonna try to stick with them. We kinda need you, but I know you got your shit to deal with.
Yeah, and Oberon's just going to kind of like turn away at that point. I'll figure out. I'll think of something. I know.
Oh, yeah, go. No, go.
I know I can't be there for you like they could have been, but I am still here.
Thanks. I know shit's been bad between us for a while, but I'm not there yet where I can say everything's okay, obviously, but I respect a lot of what you've done, and I know you've hated a lot of what's happened, but you've done a lot of good, and I have to respect that.
I'm going to roll a deception.
Oh, okay. Do we want to get an insight check from
Sure thing.
Edgar, just as he's...
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah, it was...
I rolled a 19.
It was a 19. So what is it that you rolled that deception check for?
As you say, you've done a lot of good. Oberon, like, flinches.
Edgar's not going to harp on that. He knows the internal shit Oberon's probably going through. Oh, by the way, I think Castor sent Mara to check on us.
I think so too. She did mention it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much she's told him, but
yeah,
is anybody that I would trust.
Yeah. I'm gonna go say hi to my mom. Say hi to Annie for me, if you could.
Yes, I will. She misses you.
Yeah. Edgar can't get himself to say it back. Yeah. All right. Oh, get some rest. Oh, by the way, you're still covering your symbol. You didn't take the cloth off.
It's been there for 10 days straight. Shit.
Yeah.
It's a little ratty looking at this point.
You can basically see the whole symbol. It's just like, gotcha.
It's got some stains on it.
Yeah, he'll just at that point he'll rip it off. And
It's like a chalk rubbing, but it's dirt.
yeah. As he begins making his way back to the Claudius Manor, kind of just give like a little, kind of just like almost like a disgusted like snort of like humorless laughter. Just not a lot of good, huh? For who?
All right. Well, I think that's where we cut to black or fade to black. Credits start rolling. Anyways, so now that we are transitioning into a sort of downtime period, I do. So I've already gone over this with you guys, but for the audience, I want to let them know that I'm going to be introducing a new mechanic, a reputation system for the party. So this is a little scale of the different factions in this world and how their general opinion of the party. This is a reputation of the party as a group, not of the people as individuals. So the scale is neutral at 0, and it goes positive up to 3 and negative down to 3. 3 being negative 3, obviously being the worst, positive 3 being the absolute best. I will say, after the events that you all have gone through, so the 3 factions that you've been involved with, the Empire, Lady Ward, and the Rebellion, your Empire reputation remains stable at 0. Your Rebellion reputation, you had some bumps and you had some good, so it's going to still balance out at a 0. Your reputation with Lady Ward is bumping up to a 1.
Nice. I imagine that was a lot just from that last little bit of information.
Oh yeah, no, you guys going above and beyond is what really sold it. If you hadn't told her the information about T's family history, it would have stayed at a 0.
Better be worth it, you fucks.
Edgar was like, "Holy shit!"
Oberon wasn't going to say shit.
No,
Oberon
God,
wasn't
no.
going to.
Like the respect level for T has somehow gotten higher.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, so with that one, now agents in Lady Ward's faction are going to be easier for you all to make persuasion checks against, and Lady Ward herself and any agents working through her are going to be more willing to share information gained from her spy network. So congratulations, you all.
Woo! Woot!
All right. Now, so it's a bit short, so we could end the episode here if we want, or if you all have an idea of the kind of things you want to be doing during your downtime, we could go over that.
How much downtime do we have?
Honestly, you have as much downtime until the party wants to do something again. There's nothing really compelling you all to do anything at this point. You had a bit of a time limit previously because you had to do a job for Lady Ward. But at this point, you have no strong obligations beyond like just, like T. None of you are paying rent, so like.
Yeah. Can I open my letter from my contact?
Yes, you can. I will send you that letter.
A letter.
Remember, I'm holding on to it.
You want to read it?
A bitch.
Next, yes.
Okay. Essa, I am privately sending you the information from your contact.
Can you DM me the information from my contact?
Don't steal my term, bitch. I'm the rogue. I'm the criminal.
I contact things that are not conversation, so don't worry about it.
Well, also that letter has been in contact with your cleavage, so that also works.
That's very true.
Toros is just like, I don't see the problem here. Just like grabs it.
Well, Edgar and Oberon are just like can't look at T.
Yeah. They're both so painfully awkward. I love it.
I was about to say, I saw Alice's face during that entire last interaction. It was like,
oh yeah,
soap opera.
Like fucking popcorn. Honestly,
I think Alice is on a roller coaster when she found out there was like a love interest for Edgar, and that kind of fallen off. So Edgar X Oberon might be back.
Holy shit! Dude, that letter?
Yeah.
Bro.
You
want to share with the class?
Bro, okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. So here is what I think is going to happen. Downtime will happen. She'll be like so busy meeting her parents and stuff and like trying to get some good fun with them before giving them off to Lady Ward. That she's going to forget about the letter. And then like, maybe a week goes by and she's like without her parents and she's like, oh yeah, I have that letter. She reads it and then immediately goes to get the band back together because this is important.
Uh-oh.
All right.
So there's your timeline.
Yeah, so we have a week of downtime.
You have a week of downtime.
Yeah. We can't do anything in a week.
You can do things, just not everything.
No, I was about to say, I think like if we're following D&D 5e downtime mechanics, like I think like the shortest downtime mechanic is like a week.
Nah, like just tell me like any kind of plans you guys have and I'll like let you know time scale and stuff like that. Like we can kind of play it by ear a little bit.
Okay.
Montage
getting to know my parents and that's it.
Yeah, like you spend time getting to know them. You have a lot more conversations. Cammy gets to know them too. There's even more moments where your dad kind of like hints at like I can see tries to set you up and like he doesn't have the history and context of a lot of other people at Chevre's trying to do the same thing and like them giving up because they realized how like T is a very confident woman who is very assured about her emotions and sexuality until like it comes to like actual romance and T is like and Cammy isn't much better.
T's the kind of girl who like can just be like innuendo, and it's like, oh, you look very nice today.
You completely cut out after I.
I wore a shirt, thanks.
There's a lot of that. You do help your parents move into Lady Ward's mansion. You have a full invitation to visit them at any time from both them and from Lady Ward. Like she recognizes like, yeah, this is my house, but your parents live here, so I'm not going to force you to like sign a like permission slip or pen a request to meet with me kind of thing. During this week, I will say that you do see some guards with Rockfort's insignia on their armor kind of looking around the city, but no one has like raised an alarm or like as far as you know there hasn't been like any direct like news from Cashel, the fugitives and stuff like that.
She'll put her hood up casually if she sees a guard with the Rockfort insignia, but she's not going to worry too much about it. even if Lord Rockford hasn't put her in with the sketchy people, he knows that she's living in the area.
He also does know that you and Lord Fowler disappeared from the city the day that his daughter and
happens to leave the same day.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's pretty sketchy. It's not enough for him to like outright make an accusation, but that's information you would know he knows. I do think Toros was about to say something when we were getting into the downtime stuff.
If you want to keep going, you're good. I think you're still explaining things.
Oh, no, you're good. I think unless there's anything else T was wanting to do during this week.
That's all I'm really doing in my downtime until I mastermind getting us back together.
Sure thing.
You will all notice that he's been really quiet the entire time and has been not looking anyone in the eye very much, or like
so just
even
Toros.
opening. But more, he's a little more open around this team. Around the party, you've definitely seen him start to open up.
Yeah.
But he's clammed up these last 2 days, like a lot. When everyone splits up, he doesn't say anything. He kind of just looks at his money, puts it on his belt, and then turns and starts walking away.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of...
Over the downtime, T is going to try to spend time with him occasionally. Like, let's go to lunch or something. But it's up to you if he accepts that.
He would probably accept it.
Okay.
He would definitely want to go the fuck home.
Yeah.
But before he even does that, he's going to want to just go somewhere where he can just kind of sit down and just kind of sit there.
Yeah.
And he's just
you could find like a park nearby that you can just sit for a moment and like kind of decompress, process however you need to do.
He like sits there for a while, just keeping to himself. I'm assuming he like finds a little bench that people are just kind of like waiting around the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like taking off his gauntlets and looking him over as he does with his fidgets. And his brain's just like wrapping around everything that's going on over and over. And then he kind of just sits there and he just like feels like drops start to hit his hands as like tears just kind of start rolling out of his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just like starts becoming a full, just like quiet sobbing to himself. And he's just going to say the simple words to himself of just, Yurik, what have you done to yourself? And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Do you want to go over you going back to the Paladin headquarters and to the Order of Midir and talking with?
He would eventually go home. He looks worse from where, but like it kind of just looks like he's been adventuring. But he would go home after like taking some time to himself, and you like go in and specifically just look for her.
Yeah. I'd say like you're lucky she's off duty when you first come home. She sees you, she says, "Oh, hey, Toros, welcome back. How?" And like she kind of takes in your appearance. She's like, "Looks like you had a lot. Let's get you in. Let's get you a bath. Let's get you some food." Takes you into her room, like sets up the bath, gives you some privacy, and then fixes like a simple meal, and like doesn't pry, like is happy to wait for you to talk about anything if you want to talk at all.
He would definitely like after a while, like he's out of it, like his armor, and he's just in like a simple like sleeveless, and he's kind of like looking over his armor. He hasn't changed much since the last time they talked. Of like he seems a bit standoffish. He's not necessarily worse, but he certainly isn't better. Of like he's not making a lot of eye contact as he's kind of just focusing on like looking over his armor, and she can tell there's a lot on his mind, and maybe even more now. We've finished our mission. that we went through. We got paid.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad it was accomplished. What if it's all right to tell me what did you do?
We had to go out of town and find some stuff for a client. She wanted us to find some bits and pieces of stuff, and we had to bring it back to her. And it wasn't easy, but we got kind of roughed up. There's some stressy parts, but we made it back. And he actually does kind of give a small smile as he kind of like finally looks up, and we fought through, and we kept each other safe.
So you look up, you say these things. When you look at Elda, she's a paladin. She's who she is, and you're used to her being very stoic. You're used to that's she wasn't the person you modeled your stoicism off of, but they complement each other.
It's pretty close.
She is looking at you, and she's not showing that stoic, blank kind of look. She is showing genuine, heartfelt concern for you right now, and she is making it apparent on her face. She, again, doesn't press, doesn't say anything like, how are you feeling? Like kind of stuff like that. What are your emotions right now? She just is looking at you with this look of deep concern. And she says, well, that's, I understand, missions can definitely become a lot more stressful than they were originally planned for and all that. Yeah, but I'm glad you and your group were able to get through it. That's good to hear. And
when he's
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead first.
I was just gonna say, again, keeping that face of concern and kind of trailing off as she talks, and just her way of inviting you to talk kind of thing.
He sees this, and this is probably something he's definitely seen in his past, where he kind of recognizes this look, a very motherly look, and he just kind of clears his throat and just kind of looks back to his armors. Miss Loomis, when you were finding your place, did you end up having to do hard decisions?
She takes a deep breath and she says, yeah, I've had to do some things to get to this position, to find the piece that I could find that were challenging, were difficult and painful decisions for me to make. Have you been having to deal with those yourself?
He kind of just slowly nods. He says, my group that I'm working with, they're all so different, and they all make such decisions and ideas, and they're so good at making them on the spot and knowing what to do. And I would never be able to think about. Some of them have such odd minds. They're so brave. I just don't get it. They go out of their way to do stuff I would never even dream about. I don't know how they have so much.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with them sometimes.
Yeah, she'll nod, realizing also again that you are kind of staring at your armor that you can't actually see that she's nodding, and she'll say, I get that. That's, I'm also not much of a planner. It's a lot easier for me to follow orders than to come up with them. I think that's something that's just kind of in common with both of us.
That does get a smile on his face, like a genuine like.
Yeah. Okay.
Smile.
She'll smile as well, and she'll say, "It is very strange when you are in a group of people that are so radically different from yourself. It can be overwhelming, it can be intimidating, and it can make you feel inadequate and have you compare yourself to them." And then she'll kind of extend a hand. She won't hold your hand, but it's like she's letting you know it's there. And she'll say, "But you don't need to. You're not lesser because it's harder for you to plan things, because it's harder for you to jump in without being able to think things through as much as you'd like. People are different, and I understand that fear of being so radically different from the people around you, but as long as you feel like these people want you to be safe and are doing things that they believe in, and that they aren't going to judge you or force you to do something you don't want to do, I think it's actually kind of good for you to be around people that are so different from you. It's a perspective that you aren't used to seeing. And, Madir is pretty strict about the things that he considers good and bad, but there are different ways of interpreting and working to accomplish those things. And having a broad range of perspectives, even if you come to realize that they aren't for you, knowing more about the world is only going to be an asset.
He kind of just takes a deep breath and just kind of sighs out, some light steam kind of comes out his nose. He just kind of nods. I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah. She is hesitating, and she says, I'm not the best at words all the time. But if you, and I know that I'm kind of one to talk on this, but if you ever need to let something go, I'm here to be that person for you. You're a good kid, and I know you want to do what's right. And I'm here to listen and give whatever guidance I can.
I'm gonna make a Constitution save so he doesn't start crying in front of this woman.
Damn, you're a good.
I've never related to Toros more.
He visibly breathes, and he's just kind of sucks it in. He feels it start to come along of as she says this, he really wants to tell her, and that really builds up inside his chest, but he holds it in. And it's something that he's definitely done in the past that he's had to do for a while. So he lets it build for a little bit, and he just kind of smooths it over, and he just nods. I know you're here.
And pulls a police officer from Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs.
Get back in there, Tear.
Beautiful enough to make a man cry, but not today. You get back in there, Tear.
Flip like wood.
Yeah, like she smiles. You get the feeling that she knows you're still kind of holding back, but you know, she's the same way, so she's not going to press you. But you know, you have that reassurance. You know that she is there if you ever can come to a point where you are comfortable enough to start talking about things.
He nods and just kind of, I can never thank you enough for what you helped me with. And he does it eventually, like right when he says that is when he kind of like finally looks up again from his armor and just kind of actually meets her gaze. These people have just, they have such brave minds and souls, and they know what they're doing with their lives, and it's so impressive. I've never met anyone so brave. If I was in one of their positions, I'd be terrified. I have been terrified and been in their position, yet there's one that's just, he stares danger in the face and he doesn't care. There's one that's a lot like me, and he's headstrong and he keeps his cool most of the time, but you can tell there's a lot on his mind. There's another she's great at talking, and she makes me smile, and she's funny.
That like gets an eyebrow from her, and like, she doesn't say anything, but like
she's pretty.
She's pretty. He's kind of like really focused on his thoughts. He doesn't even pick up on that.
No, yeah, I figured. Just.
And then there's this last one who they seem to just have such a tendency to hide and lie, and for some reason I feel like they'd be the one, he'd be the one I would really despise the most, but I see so much of myself in him. He's just trying to live. He just wants to survive, and he's so afraid of what happens if he opens up and shows what he is, that he will get dejected. And he kind of like looks at his hands, and I think we've done that to him, and maybe I should make that right.
Yeah, well, you need to do what you think is best, and it hasn't been very long since you graduated, Toros, and I don't know if you recognize this in yourself, but you've grown a lot in this short amount of time. And even if you don't see it, I see it. And I'm proud of you.
He's just going to stand up and just hug her, like without a word. He can't.
She kind of like flinches, just not out of like, but
just
more out of like, oh, that was okay. But she hugs you back. Like you guys hug for a good solid, like it's a long hug. It is like, these are two people who aren't very physical, touchy-feely people, but also they're people who haven't been touched in a long time. And like, this is a level of comfort where like, you hug each other for way longer than like an outside observer would be like, it's been 15 minutes. What are they doing? But like, and like eventually the hug ends and you're both very like, okay, so let's news about what's been going on at the temple, and I think that's how that conversation kind of comes to a close. Any other downtime stuff that Toros wants to try getting done during this week?
He will, if he comes to like seek him out, he will definitely take her up on the lunch.
Yeah.
She says lunch, but she's taking him to white girl brunch.
Mm-hmm.
He's down with
mimosas,
white girl brunch, even though he doesn't know what that is.
And yeah.
Oh yeah. Does Toros drink mimosas at the white girl brunch?
He thinks it's just orange juice.
I feel like Toros would, and I feel like T would order mimosas that like don't have enough champagne, so he'd just be like, "Ooh, fizzy orange juice." Well,
make it more palatable for him.
I think
he just
wasn't
Toros
the one who did the worst in the drinking contest?
yeah.
He did all right the second two. The first one he bombed.
Okay. So I feel like
I was the only one who didn't fail. I don't think.
I think Toros.
He'd get drunk at brunch.
He might not get drunk, but he definitely gets kind of a head rush.
He gets a little head rush. He gets a little tiny bit of tipsy.
Me and Edgar did the best, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like anything specific?
Hey,
specific you guys are talking about during brunch, or just kind of like enjoying each other's company kind of vibes?
Just like I see how much of an isolated person he is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to make sure he doesn't.
Where'd you get that vibe? I don't see why you'd pick up that kind of
he's just so open.
Like now that we've rekindled our friendship after X years apart, she wants to make sure that it stays that way. So she'll like give her parents a couple hours by themselves once or twice to go and get brunch with him.
Yeah. We'll say like over this week too, your dad is like, he's in recovery from his malnourishment and his dehydration and all that. Like within a few days, he's looking better. Obviously it's going to be long going. 20 years of severe malnourishment is a lot. That's incredibly damaging to your body. But like, even in the few days that he's been getting, treatment, and Lady Ward has also been having like clerics come by and like help work on him. She may also have been getting poultices from a certain alchemist to help treat some of his wounds and scars.
Oscar, what are you doing here?
Wrong universe.
Oh shit.
As they're like treating him, you would discover though that there's a mark kind of almost branded on your father's chest. And the healers looking at it would be able to tell that it is a protection against divination magic. That would also make it so that things like sending spells wouldn't be able to target him.
Okay. Good to know.
So that's why your mother was unable to contact him for the 20 years that he was imprisoned, because he was forcibly made impossible to detect or to converse with through magical means.
At least that means they won't be able to track him here.
That's the thing. It's a double-edged sword once that prisoner escapes, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's your two downtimes. Essa.
I'm going to write back to my contact. I'm going to ask them about where these places are, like these cities that they're talking about. Asking where they are, who leads them, that sort of thing, just to get more information on what's going on.
Sure.
And then I'm going to head to that rebellion hideout that I found right before we left Avon.
Okay. All right. So you backtrack. You go back to that rebellion hideout that you found. Roll me a d20 real quick.
Wow. 16.
Okay. As you're kind of approaching, give me a perception check.
Yeah. God damn it, my character sheet's fucking up. Perception. 15.
15? Okay. As you're kind of approaching that building, you would like overhear conversation going on inside of the building as you get near it.
I'm gonna try to sneak up and listen in.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. Yeah, I was going to say that's basically a formality, a 23. So
I couldn't that one.
You creep up to one of the broken windows, and you like press yourself against the wall, and they're still speaking in kind of hushed tones, so you'll only be able to get bits and pieces unless you give me another perception check.
19.
All right. So you get a quick look as you approach. You see that red tiefling woman that you all chased out of the Dragon Skull Inn all those days ago. And along with her is a half-orc man who is like dressed in furs, looks more like he's some kind of a trapper or hunter or something like that. You overhear them. They're talking about different operations that they're engaged with. Seems like it's pretty much just surveillance and reconnaissance. Not really any active sabotage or infiltration or things like that. They're having, from the information you're gathering, they are very much having to keep a very, very low profile since they're in the capital. They're not even really doing much recruitment. It seems like these are people who were already fairly well respected agents within the faction that were chosen specifically because the faction knew that they would be able to keep that low profile, and they're basically just kind of here to catch the news that comes through the capital, since it is a major source of trade and travel within the empire.
Now, remind me, because it's been a bit. There was like a hatch that led underground, right?
There is. Yep. It's inside the building, though.
Yeah. Is there the building's like decrepit, right?
Yeah, it's pretty shitty looking. It looks like it's an abandoned building.
Can I try to find a place where it's like big enough for me to squeeze through near that hatch, so to avoid these two?
So these two are actually standing right next to the hatch.
Ah, okay.
They're kind of leaning on the counter that's next to it.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna kind of stand still for a moment and use steady aim, and I'm going to grab a rock and hug it as hard as I can to make just a lot, on something metal, something loud, to make a lot of noise to get their attention, right outside the building, away from me.
Okay. Yeah, give me an attack roll with advantage.
Yep. That's just Dex, right? Dex plus proficiency.
20 plus Dex plus proficiency.
So that'd be D20 plus 37 plus 7.
It's a Dex save. Just roll.
Oh yeah, you could also just roll a Dex save, and that would do the same.
23.
23. Yeah. So you see a good kind of an abandoned old signpost from one of the other decrepit buildings in this sort of slum-like area. You take a good sized stone on the ground near you, and you huck it right dead aim into that sign, and both of them, their heads swivel in the direction of the noise, and the orc says to the tiefling that wait here, I'll check it out, and the orc walks out of the building.
Okay. As he walks out, I'm gonna sneak in, and I'm not gonna give a throat to her knife, a knife darts or anything. But I'm gonna appear behind her and whisper in that codified language.
That they were talking in that language, by the way.
Yeah. I figured talking that codified language. Why are you out here?
Okay, so you Batman behind her, and she like whips around, sees you, and smirks and says, like she goes like, yeah, why would, sure. When you go shh at her, and she's like, we're out here because no one's here. Like, that's kind of standard tactics, right?
I mean, in the capital.
Oh, in the capital. Well, see, that's information that I would be willing to share with a person who's actually part of the rebellion.
Just tell me. Why is Thor putting all of these people out here?
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yeah. Persuasion 10.
No.
Yeah,
she says,
Tell me.
She says, I would tell you if you were a member of the rebellion. Now you can leave, and I'll act like you didn't come in here, or you can stick around until Thorin gets back, and we'll both kick your ass.
Well, thank you for the name. That's good to know.
She like looks unfazed and like, okay, man, like in your head you're like, yeah, everyone in this group uses code names. That's not a name that's gonna like get anywhere.
Yeah. I just kind of look at her and go, I may not be part of the rebellion anymore, but there are people in there I still care about. And whatever Thorpe is doing is putting you and everyone there in a lot of risk. I know what he's been up to.
She is going to just straight up scoff, and she is going to say, listen, I get that you're a coward, but there aren't the people who are still in the rebellion actually care about making things better.
You can call me whatever you want. Just know that sooner or later this will end in disaster for you, for Thor, and for Thorpe, everyone. Because you are doing too much. You are pushing too far. You are pushing your luck way too far. What we had before was good, and what we had before was safe.
What we had before was a barely functioning city of 300 people at most who at any given time were in danger of starving to death, losing their homes, or being run out by a raiding party. What we have now is an effective, organized group that is seeking to make life better for everyone. And yeah, maybe things were a little easier for the people who could just sit around and act like they were actually improving things. But for the people who weren't in that secret little club on the edges of the empire, things weren't getting better.
Thorpe is no different from the people you hate. And I'm going to leave.
Okay. Yeah, like, she lets you leave. Like, she's not going to try to kick your ass right now, but like, her disdain is evident. Yeah. She is not hiding that.
Oh yeah, neither am I.
All right.
After that, he'll just like he'll find some place to sleep. He has no home, so he'll find somewhere.
You do have a shitty little safe house. That
is that one of Lord Richmond's safe houses? Is that a personal one?
It is. It's one that he is assigned to you.
Yeah, so I would have told Lady Ward about that one.
Yeah,
and told her like if she needs to meet with me, like come out to meet me. That's where I'll be.
Yeah, it's actually kind of within the same district that you're already in.
Yeah.
It's a old kind of ramshackle, used to be some kind of like general store or something. It's got a very tattered little like straw mattress in the corner. Like the windows are all boarded up, but like chilly drafts are still coming in because it is like getting to be winter time. And there's not very good insulation in this building because it's very poorly maintained.
When I enter that building, do I see a letter from the Lord Richmond? Like how I contact
no letter. But you understand that if you don't check in with him whenever you're back from a mission, like eventually he will find out, and if he finds out you didn't check in with him, like that's not gonna look good.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
As you come in, you do see there's some a few rats who are chewing on your mattress. They scurry when you open the door.
Rats.
There isn't a better analogy. He will not contact Lord Richmond. He will not go to him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
so
cry. Just gonna cry.
So this is like the first day. Is there any time during this week that you would report back to Lord Richmond?
Not this week.
Not this week. Okay. In that case, are you trying to keep a low profile so that try to prevent him from learning that you're back?
Yeah.
Okay. I will need a stealth check from you.
Okay. Uh, 13. Ugh. Nag time to roll low.
So 4 days in, you wake up in this safe house, and you find a dagger in one of the floorboards with a note on it that says, "Don't avoid me. I know you're here. I could have taken you."
I have a very peculiar set of skills.
Peculiar set of skills.
I can manifest daggers and notes.
That is my magic. That is it.
It is very peculiar, isn't it? It can't manifest them in a person, just in an inanimate object.
He's going to take the dagger, put it in his back pocket, and he will go meet with Lord Richmond. Mm-hmm. She knows he's here.
Yeah, Richmond is waiting in the alley that you met with him previously, and he is going to look at you, and he's going to say, "Well, he is alive after all."
Are his guards there?
Yeah.
As I walk up, I'm going to take the dagger, not throw it like you're trying to injure, toss it to one of them.
They catch it deftly, and like you toss it at them. They put up a finger, and it catches on the guard of the blade, swivels around, and then they just grab the hilt and stick it back into the sheath that's on their belt.
Edgar from somewhere else. Edgar somewhere else in the town says that's hot.
Sharp guards.
Yeah. So he has 2 guards with him. One of them is a Goliath.
Oh boy, he fucking towers over me.
Yeah, and like
5'10".
Yeah, full plate armor, like a massive fucking battle axe or great axe slung on his back.
Is he the one that catches the dagger?
No, the one who catches the dagger is a human, a human person who look. It's hard to find like a word that isn't just this is a non-binary person. to say. But
a human figure.
A human person who is wearing like some studded leather armor, and you can see like runes etched into it, and it has some sort of magical energy kind of radiating from it as they swivel the dagger. And you see like a long bow and a full set of quivers on their back as well, along with like they have like a bandolier of daggers across their chest too.
Okay, so I'll walk past them and walk up to Lord Richmond.
Yeah, Lord Richmond will like look at you. He'll smile. He'll approach you, and then he's going to quickly reach out, grab a fistful of your hair, and then pull your head back tightly. And he's going to say, "When you come to my city, I expect you to tell me about it."
I was afraid, my lord.
Afraid of what?
Afraid of what you'll do when you've heard I did not complete the mission yet.
He is going to like kind of throw your head back as he lets go of your hair, and he's going to say, "Your mission was to gain information about T. Did you gain information?"
She is a very secretive woman. I cannot crack her yet.
Give me a deception check.
Oh no!
I
Come on,
die.
buddy.
It's your fault, Alice.
What?
You were so.
Hold up!
Entirely your fault, sir. Entirely.
17.
17. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Reading
Richmond.
In between the lines.
Reading Richmond. Damn it, Trey. You
That was good.
found it before I could.
Just the fucking. I blame you, Alex.
Yeah, I blame you.
You are so goddamn lucky. He rolled a 17, and I'm going to say meets it, beats it in your favor.
Yeah.
You.
Oh,
He has a +5 to his insight. You little.
I have a +5 to my
little
deception.
sniveling bitch.
True.
So he like still looks super pissed, but he kind of just curses and turns around and says, "Well, that makes sense. Even I haven't been able to crack much from her. I guess it was a little I overestimated the abilities of someone who supposedly is a masterclass spy."
I never said I was masterclass. I just said I was a spy.
The Goliath is going to strike you in the back of your head. Let's that you take 6 bludgeoning damage.
I can't see it, so I can't dodge it.
Mm-hmm. And when he does that, Richmond's going to put up a hand and say, "I appreciate that, but let's not kill him just yet. Here's the thing, Essa. Your performance of late has been lacking. If you don't improve your work with me, I may be forced to terminate your employment. And I hope you understand the implications of that." As he says this, the other guard is going to like kind of walk up behind you and drag their nails across the back of your neck. Their nails are incredibly sharp, like they're filed to a point, but they're like even sharper than just nails. You realize as they walk back around that they're tipped with like some kind of metal, and as you feel a burning sensation in the back of your neck, you realize they must also be poisoned.
Oh boy.
Just they didn't scratch you enough to actually give you any damage, just to send a message.
Yeah.
And Richmond is going to look at you and say,
"Fuck you, Trey."
Richmond is going to look at you and say, if within the next month you do not have any significant information on T to deliver to me, that will be it. Am I understood?
Yes, sir, Lord Richmond.
Good.
I shall see it done.
And with that, he is going to turn away, and he is going to look to the more lithe-looking guard of his, and he's going to say to them, "I don't understand how you can be so good when the rest of your kind is so utter trash." As he's walking away.
Essa just kind of like Essa, the entire involvement with Lord Richmond, knowing what he knows now about what he's getting himself into, Essa does have like a mental breakdown, but he instead of like fear, he starts laughing. Not loud enough that Richmond can hear.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like laugh, like kind of has to lean up against the wall to keep himself held up because he's just laughing at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
anything else from Essa for this week?
He'll drop by and tell T that everything's safe right now with Lord Richmond. He'll mention it. He won't. He won't stick around and say it, like, to explain it. He'll just say it and leave.
Mm-hmm. So, so you're kind of dropping by. Are you? I'm going to roll a d20. On an even, T is at Chevre's. On an odd, T is out for whatever reason. Just a moment.
You might have to leave your message with Cammy.
You will have to leave your message with Cammy. I rolled a 9.
Hey, Cammy, I'm spying on T, but tell her that I didn't crack.
So you swing by Chevre's, you go inside, you look around, T is not there.
Shit. Okay, I'm gonna walk up to Cammy, just wave hi.
Yeah, Cammy's like, "Oh hey, what's up?"
Could I potentially leave you with a message for T when she gets back?
Yeah, sure.
Just tell her everything's good.
She's like, head is like gears are turning. She's like, okay, so you want me to just tell T that her friend says everything is good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's an easy enough message to remember. That's fine with me.
All right. Thank you. Bye. And just leaves.
Cammy's just like to herself, like after you leave, it's just like, T hangs out with some fucking weirdos. Like fully recognizing that does also apply to the people at Chevre's.
Except that Toros guy. He's cool.
Yeah. That Toros guy, like,
he gets it.
Shit. Now Toros and Cammy are going to start like giving each other workout tips.
Workout bros. Workout bros.
Cammy would be so down.
Mm-hmm.
House of Swole.
All right.
Now all I can see is in my head is T dragging Toros to white girl brunch, and Cammy's sitting there waiting with a mimosa.
Mm-hmm. You will not believe the weirdest shit happened. Okay. Is that? I'm guessing that's it for Essa's downtime for the week.
Yeah, he's in a state of like, he's just losing his. He feels like he's losing his fucking mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
How easy would it be for Toros to find Essa? Just Because like he doesn't know where Essa would be. He doesn't know where his home would be.
That's a question for Essa.
Yeah.
Like Essa, like after the first 4 days, it would probably be pretty easy to find him since Little Richmond knows he's here. He's not trying to keep a low profile anymore. And I imagine if he's walking in the district where Madame Chevres is, like it's easy enough to spot him. He has a pretty different look than the rest of the people.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'm gonna roll something. You know what? I'm just gonna roll a flat d20.
Okay.
Yes. Nat one.
Fuck.
That's a 9.
He would not go out of his way then to go keep an eye on Essa. Just to check up.
Mm-hmm.
He would psych himself out. Like he'd be like, okay, you know what? Feel like out of everyone's got some pretty good connections. I feel like Essa could use like just a checkup, and then like he'd be starting out the door and be like, yeah, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. Sounds like a bad idea. Also, Essa's Essa. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He sees Essa in the street. Hey,
it's
you
like
smell like rats.
There's just a rat on his shoulder.
I was gonna say, Essa's like in the middle of his mental breakdown. He decides I'm gonna have a treat myself day. Goes to brunch, sits down at a table, sees you guys, and it's the fucking Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they see each other.
Dude, he's looking right at me, man. No. Essa is the D in the episode, and then it's it's Oberon and Edgar across from us.
Oh my god, this entire time Essa's just been ratatouille'd by one of the rats from his dad.
It's under his mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's in his... Oh, that's horrifying. It's like...
clinging to his throat.
You thought it was Essa's voice. It's the rat.
Oh, man.
My name is Pierre.
So, for the next downtime, do we want to check in on Edgar or Oberon?
It's up to you. I got a couple small things, nothing major.
Yeah, I don't.
If you want me to go first. Okay.
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. Edgar's going to be spending some time with Mara for what they agreed to about trying to learn more about Asaurian heritage. At some point, as he continues to realize that Mara's really cool, he is going to run to T. Say, T, I need your help to invite Mara to my house. And I need you there.
Oh.
I think they're both good, cool, and I think it could be nice. We're friends.
You want them to be friends, or would you like them to be close friends?
I don't want to say that out loud.
I want to say it out loud.
It's still my mom.
I don't want to know who my mom's boning.
Just when I invite...
I think it would be a fantastic idea to have our parents meet our adventuring party and their parents. Don't you think?
You say that, and then Edgar's thinking about Oberon's parents?
Do you mean all?
We can just make it us.
us.
I think you and I
Okay,
are
good.
the only ones that have positive parent-child relationships.
Oh God, the Claudiuses would not be a good idea.
No.
For two of us, you're the ones that have parents.
Yeah. My mom. I think it'd be cool for my mom to meet them and
Throw a
Mara.
dinner party.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Adding more people to the mix makes it less pressure.
That's true.
I
don't know.
Heart palpitation.
Yeah, my mom's just been, and I want to describe, like, I talk about my mom and I say, yeah, she's an alchemist. She's been helping, like, heal some people. And I wonder if, as I describe, it might come to realize that my mom was the one treating Harrison.
I'd recognize this description probably.
Oh my goodness.
Your mother's amazing. I know her well.
I would say
She's helping my father.
Oh, gotcha.
I would say it probably wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility that Edgar's mom, has also supplied medicine to Chevra.
Yeah, that's
Morning
very
after
true.
potions.
Among other things.
God.
I
Oh,
hate
God.
you.
No,
I
you
call
don't.
this. She's like swirling a potion. Call this one, little one, the Deletus.
Beautiful.
That's a new.
Babe!
Alice, come get your man. Come get your man.
Babe!
I called this Deletus.
There goes all the sponsors.
It was nice when we almost were thinking about having money in the future. Anyway,
There goes this as a career.
looks like we can never publish this.
Just cut that joke out. We're fine.
Oh, for
fair.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would be glad to help throw a dinner party.
Great.
I'll
Thanks.
invite Mara if you like.
Please. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Consider it done.
Edgar invites everybody but Oberon.
He doesn't know if he wants to invite Essa or Toros either right now. Like,
I know.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It was just a funny scene.
So while we prepare for the dinner party as well, Edgar would want to go reach out to. I'm hoping there was a ranger professor there who was not an elf at Avon Academy that Edgar and probably also Kanasha had like gotten a closer bond with.
Yeah.
Just one that he actually like trusted. Edgar will want to go reach out to them and try to get ask for a little bit of advice.
Yeah. There's a so they're a forest gnome ranger who works for the academy. They're they are mostly they're a ranger first, teacher second, so they aren't always around and teaching. They're kind of like adjunct. They show up when they're able to, kind of thing.
They have like a lion skin that says Ranger first, teacher second,
Yeah.
just on their desk.
Mm-hmm. You know them. They are. Their name is Leclari.
Leclari.
Ooh.
Yeah, like you had a few classes with them. They're very much the kind of person who like shows up to class like a little hungover, but in a cool way, not in a Seamus way. And like they're very like matter of fact, kind of blunt. They're like during classes they were like, all right, this is the spot you want to shoot a displacer beast so that you can like pin them down and prevent them from doing that fucked up shit where they make it so that they in the same spot. It's bullshit. I hate them. I can't wait to like get the 5th one stuffed and mounted.
I'd like to think his most hated like thing he's killed is something just completely like harmless and like
a bunny rabbit.
Dodo
Fuck
bird.
flumps. I hate flumps.
Flumps can eat my ass. I will make it my life's mission. Anytime I see a flump, that's a dead flump.
It's just tired Jack. When Jack's tired, that's how he acts.
Listen. I'm getting him.
Waffles can eat my shit, okay?
Excuse me. That is slander. That is slander.
I'm so sorry.
No, we're not ready to launch Jack's hot takes on hot cakes. That's a future. That's a Patreon stretch goal.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah. So you swing by the academy on a day during this week. Luckily, they are available. They like see you and they're like, Hey, this guy. It's been a while. How's things going?
2 manticores. Was the last game.
Chew. Oh my god! Did you
Manticore.
like hold on to anything from them? Like
We used a lot of it for rations. We sold the tail. People used them for some weird
people
shit.
use them for some weird shit. That's true. That is true.
Literally just Jack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's great. You get some good money off of that though. That's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the market really. Yeah, no, like that's why like I sell displacer beast tentacles, I sell griffin beaks, I sell you get some of that good shit, you can make some money off of that. So what's up? How's it going?
Yeah. So the hunting part, I think I've been doing a pretty good job at, but as far as my new party that I'm with, there's not a lot of great survival skills, and I struggled with that.
Yeah, you were
was
pretty
here.
dog shit at that.
It's depth perception is kind of not. I don't have it. It's hard for setting shit up.
That explains a lot, because a lot of times I'm like, it's right in front of you, man. How are you not seeing this? That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm here for a little while, and I'm hoping in between missions I could come back at some point. If you have time for it, I would just love a little bit more. I want to be able to keep my guys alive.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to give you some pointers. So I'm guessing this is you wanting to get proficiency with survival.
So I technically have proficiency with it.
Okay.
I have such shit wisdom that it's a +1 because of that. That I'm hoping that by working with him knowing what I'm not good at with it, if there's a way to mechanically, expertise would be tough. I need a lot of time for that. But if there's a way for him to be able to help me adapt it to a different skill that isn't wisdom over time, like intelligence or something, that's like I don't know why I can't get it. If there's a way that you might be able to help,
reframe it to using a different kind of attribute.
I'm not a visual learner. Yeah, I'm not a visual learner.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say you'd probably need to spend, I'd say about 2 to 3 weeks working on that before it like is set in stone. I'll say like after this first week, you'll have like I'll let you like, if you want to make a survival check using intelligence, like you can roll like a D100 and above a certain amount, you'll be able to. After the 3 weeks go by, it'll be reliably. You don't have to worry about rolling the D100.
Cool. And thanks for this. I promise whenever I'm out and we got another get, I'll tag something for you and bring it back.
Oh, sounds good, man. Sounds good. Yeah. Actually, don't worry about paying me. Just the next time you kill something neat, save a piece of it for me.
I got you.
Also, Ganache is really pissed at you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came by the other day. You fucked up on that one, my guy. I can't lie to you about that.
Yeah.
Like, I get that there's probably some like shit going on. You don't have to like talk to me about it if you don't, if that's like personal shit. I don't have a problem with that. I understand. I just want you to know, like, they like, I was kind of hungover, not gonna lie, when they showed up, so I didn't catch everything, but they stayed here for like 2 hours almost, man.
Yeah.
So like you might need to examine that whole situation.
I know. I can't fix that right now, but if you see them again, just keep an eye on them, make sure they're all right.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're someone who could use an extra eye. I get it.
Okay, come on, you can't. I also don't have an eye. You can't. Say that.
They
you got in trouble for that.
They let you. They wait for you to like have that reaction before they just start laughing uncontrollably, and they're like, it's whatever. They can't fire me. They they can't fire me. I'm good.
They fucking wish.
They wish they could fire. They really wish they could fire me. Like it's a contract. It's a whole thing. Like I know some good like legal lawyers that like have helped me out on this shit. Like I've got an airtight contract with this school. It's bullshit. Honestly, I fucked them over good when I got this job.
I give them a high five.
Listen, have you ever seen a flump in the Capitol? No, didn't think so.
Cause of me, I did that.
Last thing, have you used a grappling hook before?
Homie, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Of course I've used a grappling hook before.
I've got the supplies. I could really use some like Laglari touch on this.
Dude, say no more. Well, that's going to be part of your survival training. In all honesty, if I could enforce that as a necessary unit in my classes, I would.
It's so fucking... I saw someone just use it in the city, like, got out of Dodge.
That's... the grappling hook is really overlooked, I think. Like, that's something, like, every shop sells it, no one buys it. I don't get it.
I carry at least 5 on me.
I have 3 of them. Like, I got a blacksmith to, like, make them look like cool shit, you know? Like, I've got one that is, like, you know how, like, the Displacer Beast tentacles have those, like, barbs on them? It looks like Displacer Beast barbs. That's sick as hell.
I think a lot of the kids in his class called him Coach. Edgar's just having like, Coach, you really need to chill with the Displacer Beast stuff. You talk about their tentacles 95% of the time.
Look, they're cool, all right? They're cool. I appreciate them aesthetically.
It's art, okay?
It's art.
Art.
It's art. It's artistic. And I'm not going to be lectured by some guy who dresses like you do.
Oh, fuck you.
Listen, what I buy from Risky Reptiles is none of your business.
That's all I've got. besides the dinner party.
You good, Alice?
I'm sweating.
All right. Coolio. We will save the dinner party for the end of the week. Oberon.
Yes.
How's it going, my guy?
Okay. So there's really 2 main things that I want to do. First thing is, first day, he kind of really doesn't do much. He kind of just goes to the training yard, trains till he basically is dead on his feet, and then goes to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Second day, he'd like to go find Castor.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been back home. You had a nice little reunion with Annie. Lately, she's been kind of spending more and more time studying. So she doesn't spend, like, she spends a good chunk of the day away from the estate at this point. But the next day, like, your dad wasn't here the first day you got back. He was away for some sort of mission or training or something, or not training, but like some sort of business. Castor was with him, but you were told by Annie and some of the other servants that he should be back by tomorrow. So the next day, you get up, you wait around a bit, and then you start looking for Castor, seeing if they got back yet. As you're looking around the house, you're going to hear a big booming voice. Where's my favorite granddaughter? And you are going to see, you are in the entryway of the home, and the doors are thrown open, and you see an old looking high elf flanked by several guards in pristine, gleaming plate armor with the Claudius insignia on it. And this old man comes in. You are looking at the face of Regulus Xavier Claudius the First. As he comes in and makes that announcement, within minutes, Annie is rushing down from her room. She goes, "Grandpa!" and gives him a big old hug. He goes, there she is! And gives her a big old bear hug, kneeling down and just being like, how are you doing? What's going on? Like, they're talking, and then he looks up and sees you and then just is like, guess you're back.
Well,
Shit.
Oberon looks. I'm gonna roll. Can I roll a I'm gonna roll a Constitution check to see how well I'm holding up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oberon's knees are shaking. And
He looks at you and says, "What? You can't even say hello to your grandfather?"
Help.
He just kind of snorts as you're choking on your words, and then he looks down at Annie and says, "I don't know why he gets so shy all the time. It's very strange, don't you think?" And she kind of giggles, not really picking up on things. And you see, standing next to your grandfather, you finally notice your father and Castor. Seems that the business they were on involved him. And so, so your father says, "Well, yeah, so, sir, I do have things I need to take care of, but I'm sure that Annie will be happy to visit with you while you're here." And he says, "Of course she will, won't you, lass?" And she's just like, "Yeah, I can tell you I've been learning so much." He's like, "That's great. Isn't magic so wonderful? Isn't magic the only thing worth knowing?" He says as he kind of pointedly looks at you, Oberon.
The teeth are just grinding together, but more of in a sense to keep them from chattering and out of actual anger.
Yeah, and Annie just goes, "You need to know more than magic." He's like, "All right, you do," and he is going to walk away to the back gardens with Annie, along with several of the guards who are at all times perfect formation, the guards Buckingham Palace guards where they don't look, don't flinch, none of that. It's that level of intensity. As they're walking away, Castor and your father are going to notice you and say, "Oh," your father's going to be like, "Oh, Oberon, you're back. How was your mission?"
And he has to visibly shake himself out of it. Oh, it went well.
Your father registers how shaken you are right now. He goes, "Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm sorry. If I knew you were back, I would have told you that he would be coming. I'm sorry."
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I do have some business to take care of. But if you want to talk, yeah, you can come see me. And he starts heading to his office. Castor looks at you and says, "Regulus, would you mind if I just you know, I haven't. I need to check and make sure that Oberon's keeping up with his training. And Regulus kind of like looks at him, looks at you. Give me an insight check.
I'm going to give myself disadvantage on this.
Fair, you are pretty shaken right now.
Oberon is very shaken.
Still 16. Yeah, you read that there is a bit of sadness in your father's face as he recognizes that Castor is better at being able to know how to help you in this situation than he is. But he doesn't object or do anything. He says, right, of course. Just come see me when you're able. And he heads back to his office, and Castor looks at you and approaches, doesn't put a hand on your shoulder because he knows that when you've seen your grandfather, you're very sensitive, but says like, hey, you need to lie down or anything? Like,
I need to talk.
Right. Yeah. We can talk.
And gonna like take him to like probably like the personal training grounds. As we get there, Oberon's just gonna like almost not collapse, but he's definitely just going to like sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And he just takes a minute to compose himself. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I know how that is for you.
Thank you for Mara.
At that, like recognition, surprise, and like a little bit of anger. Not at you though. He says like, "Oh, I guess she told you about the little request I made."
She did. She gave good advice when I've been working with Edgar. She seems to help him.
Well, that's good to hear. She was a lot of help during my adventuring days. So I'm glad to see that she can be of help to you and Edgar as well. How are things going with Edgar?
Don't know, Castor. I feel like they are doing good, but every time it feels like we're getting back to where we were, getting close. It's what I can't. A party wants to do one thing, I want to do the other. There are moments when I seem like the person who's the outsider. It seems like I'm the one who gets looked at and says, well, you should be able to fix this. And I can't. I can't.
Yeah. No, he'll like sit down next to you on the ground, and he kind of like groans as he does it, like, you know, he's getting old. But he says like, yeah, no, you are very different from the rest of your group. I'd honestly be surprised if there weren't some growing pains going on with all that. You know, I I would encourage you to try to continue keeping things going with Edgar, but if staying with that group is causing you a lot of stress, you're not committed to them if you don't feel like it's serving you.
Right. But I owe it to at least try.
He smiles and says, well, yeah. If you try, you at least know you did your best. So, how have things been otherwise?
We're losing her, Caster.
He, very pained expression on his face, and he says, I know. I don't know exactly what he has planned. I just know that it's not.
Should have been me, Caster.
No.
And Oberon's going to hold a hand out, and he's going to attempt to use his elven heritage to cast Fairy Fire.
Okay. Let me see. I believe there's no roll or anything for Fairy Fire, right?
No, but
Right. Yeah. Give me this is your innate. This would be innate spellcasting.
Which, as a drow, I think is charisma.
I believe so.
So you just want me to give a charisma check?
Give me a charisma check. It will be a fairly high DC. You, with a 5, you strain and struggle, and you try to tap into your natural fey magic that should be there, that so many times you were told is there, you aren't trying hard enough, you aren't living up to the standard of your reputation, and try as you might, you still aren't even able to make a spark. And Caster, immediately encloses his hands around your own. He says, Oberon, neither of you should be forced to do anything for that man. You blaming yourself and giving in to self-loathing and shame is not going to help your sister.
What will?
And that, his eyes go to the ground and he says, I wish I could say. I don't think that unless something drastic changes, I'm not sure anything can truly be done. And I'm so sorry.
Oberon just head to the ground. He doesn't move for a few hours.
Caster's there with you the entire time. He doesn't say anything, doesn't, touch you unless, it's clear that you need some kind of physical comfort, but he is present for that time for you.
And I'd say after it gets well past midnight, Oberon goes up to his room and he'll begin to write a letter. He's going to write a letter to Alita and ask if he knows that she's probably on a mission right now, that she is out of town, but he would like to. He apologizes for not getting back to her immediately after graduation, but there's an urgent mission that he had to go on, and he would really like to catch up.
Yeah.
When she's
yeah, so you write that letter, you give it to someone, there's a whole industry of messengers specifically for conveying messages to adventurers, like whether by magical or mundane means, just whatever is best. Like, part of your registration is that you're registered. This industry has access to those records and is able to exchange correspondence. They are like sworn to privacy, so like there's no way that
could be used for malicious means,
right? Like, short of like an order from the knight commander of the paladins or the Empress herself, there is nothing that can be done to forcibly extract information from those messages. You actually do get a message back the next day from Aelita, saying, "I understand work has been very busy for me as well. I'm actually returning from a mission in a few days. I'd be happy to meet with you then."
He'll just respond, "Of course, we can." And he like almost writes, "We can meet here," and then like stops, and then just goes, "We can meet at we can meet out near your manor."
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say that's like towards the end of the week. It'd be before T's little get together. But so like, is there anything you want to do in the downtime between then? I will say your grandfather only really showed up for that one day. After that day, he left, and as far as you know, there's no visits coming by anytime soon.
With how things have gone, Oberon feels like he has like the political training a little bit, but that's not been enough. Would there be a way that, like, with Castor's worldly experience and his dealing with like being around nobles for 20 plus years at this point, like that Castor would be able to help him like hone his insight into like being able to determine when falsies are being said or when nobles appear to have ulterior motives. So like, would there be a way, like, if I made an insight check, like basically just trying to get an advantage on like insight against people of nobility?
Sure. Yeah. Castor, he's effectively just a bodyguard, so he isn't directly conversing in those situations, but his whole job is dedicated to picking up on threats that your father might miss, and he has had to learn like how to detect threats that aren't even weapons, but are diplomatic traps and things like that. So he'd be able to assist you with that. I'd say similarly, it would take 3 weeks for the training to become fully effective. But in this first week, I'd say you would, assuming that you have had dealings with this specific noble, like, like how the mastermind feat, or one of the mastermind abilities for mastermind rogues is if you observe for like a full minute outside of combat a person, then you can like glean some insight on them. I'd say if you can observe a noble for a minute, you can give yourself advantage on the next insight check you make against them. Now, for the first week, until you have that training solidified, it'll be a similar thing where you can roll a D100 to see if you get that ability. But other than that, once you have that fully trained, I'll say you can use that ability a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus before a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll start working with you on noticing subtleties in body language, like helping you, like observing rhetoric, understanding discussion, things like that. Just like tips and tricks that he's learned over the years. During this time, again, Annie is spending a lot of time with her magical tutors. She does, come home every night, though, and she is more than happy to spend time with you. And she's kind of doing the annoying little sister thing of, like, constantly asking about, like, your adventures, about the people you're working with. Like, as soon as you mention that there's a girl in the group, she's like, oh, and, like, will, like, be kind of annoying little sister about it, but in an endearing way. And if she ever like notices like you're especially flustered or upset about it, she'll like ease up on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, he would try to enjoy those moments as much as he can, indulge her as much as he can, and yeah.
Sure thing.
Also, sorry, I had to check one. Could I get something commissioned that week as well?
Yeah.
Like place a commission in.
What are we looking to commission?
A locket commission.
Okay. Yeah. There's a number of jewelers within the city that you could definitely commission for that.
I'll message you what it is later,
thing.
and you can tell me if it gets done within the week or not.
Yeah. Depending on materials needed, the intricacy of the design, stuff like that would factor into those kinds of things. Say it probably would take longer than a week in general, but depending on factors, it could be like 2-3 weeks at the earliest, kind of thing. All right.
And then that's all Oberon would want to do if we want to just save because I know this has gone on for a long time.
I was going to say, this episode has kind of gotten away from us a little bit. So I think here is where we are going to end it for today. The next episode, we will pick up with the Parent Trap and T's little group getting the band back together, and also Oberon's rendezvous with Aelita. So thank you everyone for watching. Sorry for the very long episode.
Bye bye.
No, hey,
No,
you're
I'm not
welcome.
sorry. We had fun.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Also, don't forget to leave. Who do you think in order in order.
Our IRL heights
Based
ranked
on
in
vibes
order.
alone.
I thought Trey was going to say, don't forget to leave. That was it.
We don't forget to leave.
And guys, PSA, please don't let your lions leave without their shovels.
That's really important.
Make sure your lions have their shovels.
So, 25% of the proceeds that we make from the show are going to go to the Lions Without
Kill
Shovels
it.
charity.
Yeah, kill it.